Welcome to yet another class where we're going to look at the money market instrument, which is the commercial paper. So, commercial paper is simply, by definition, a short-term unsecured promissory note. And this promissory note is usually issued by corporations to meet their working capital needs. So, CP, abbreviated, is typically used up to 270 days. It is one of the key instruments that we use in money market for short-term financing. So the CP is an alternative to short-term bank loans. In other terms, usually corporations with strong credit ratings use this because it offers very lower financing costs compared to the traditional loans that we get from the banks. Now, this CP, like I said, the maximum maturity is 9 months, equivalent to 270 days, and is only used by large and credit-worth firms. These are the only ones that get to use the CP. It's mainly used for short-term capital. For instance, if you're paying your suppliers, you're paying salaries, you are using it for working capital. It's an alternative to bank loans because it's cheaper if a firm has a good credit rating. Now, there are several features that a CP has. Number one, it's unsecured, so I mean there's no collateral backing that is needed. Only large companies can issue this. It's short term, up to 270, from 30 to 270 days, so 1 month to 9 months. And it is issued in the bearer or registered form. So the bearer form is the most common that we use. Then it is issued directly through a dealer. So direct issuance to investors is via banks or security houses. So these CPs are credit supported. They're also asset backed. So a lower rated issuer may obtain bank guarantees or collateral. So these features are very important. The purpose of this is short-term financing. So there's zero coupon on the CP is issued at a discount and it's redeemed at face value. And normally it is issued in the bearer form. So whoever holds it is the owner. And it's typically between 30 and 90 days. Okay? Maturity. It's rarely above 270 days. And also I mentioned to say that it is mainly for credit enhancement. So some weaker firms may issue CPs by either getting a letter of credit from a bank or by using assets like treasury bonds as collateral. So we said it's asset backed and it's also credit backed. By credit backed, we simply mean we can get a letter of credit from a bank or we can use other assets like the treasury bonds. In terms of issuers, financial institutions like banks, like finance companies, these are big or the largest issuers that are in here. Then also the non-financial companies that are there could be large corporations that have good credit rating. Okay, so the risk associated with CPs is that companies may fail to roll over the CP, especially when they issue a new CP to pay the old ones. And the solution to this is mainly when firms arrange a standby credit line from banks. The issuance methods of a CP usually are direct issued or dealer issued. Direct issued would just mean the direct paper. Mainly, a company sells directly to the investors. The dealer issued is when the CP is sold through a bank or through security firms. So the key terms we'll be using here, a CP is simply a discount instrument like a treasury bill. So when the CP yield is usually more than the treasury bill because CP has what? A credit risk. So the return you get from a CP is slightly higher and it has low liquidity. A CP also may yield higher than certificates of deposits also due to a lower liquidity. So we have understood what a CP is. Then let's get to look at examples from our textbook. So I'm predominantly going to be looking at almost all the questions or the examples in your textbook because that's where most of the questions are coming from. So like I said, the issuers of the CPs could be what? financial companies, that could be banks, finance arms of corporations, and non-financial companies, that could be corporations with strong credit rating. So we're going to look at an example of a CP as a discount instrument, which is similar to treasury bills. Okay, so what do we have here? We want to calculate the value of a CP. So, are you able to see my screen clearly? So,
Yes, we can.
suppose we are given a CP with a face value of 100,000, maturing in 60 days with a rate of 7.5%. So calculate the issue price of the CP. So, like I said, a CP can be issued as a discount instrument that is similar to a treasury bill. So I want you to understand how the formulas are supposed to be um, compounded or calculated with that example that we have. So we look at that example. This is from the textbook. Okay, before we go to that one, let me look at this example here. Okay, is able to see my question there? So these are some of the questions that we will look at today. Okay, so able to see my question? So let's look at question number 1. Question number 1 reads, a commercial paper has a face value of 500,000 and a discount rate of 5.2%, and the maturity is 90 days. All right, so with that data, we're being asked, number 1, calculate the discount and the issue price. Calculate the discount and the issue price. So to calculate the discount is simply given by the face value times the discount rate times the time to maturity over the base year. In this case, we may consider 360. So the formula for the discount D is equal to face value times the discount rate times the time over the base year B, which is 360. So our face value is what? 500,000. Our discount rate here is what? 5.2%. And our time to maturity is what? 90 over the base year's number of days, 360. So here we calculate the value or the discount value. So what do we get there? We calculate that, we get 6,500. So this is how we calculate it, 6,500. That is what we call the discount. Okay, then the issue price of the CP is simply given by the difference between the face value and the discount itself. So that is how we calculate. Okay. So the difference between the face value and the discount is called the issue price for the CP. So issue price is equal to what? Face value minus the discount that we just calculated. So our face value here is what? 500,000 minus the discount, which is 6,500. So what do we get when we calculate this? 493,500. Okay, so that is how we calculate the issue price. Anyone behind so far? So we've calculated our discount of 5,000 and our issue price. So those that have just joined us, we are looking at computations on calculating the commercial paper. So here, the key terms that we need to understand, we have the face value, which is the amount that the issuer who promised to pay at maturity. In this case, we're looking at the 500,000. And the issue price, we are looking at the amount that the investor actually pays to buy the commercial paper. It's usually less than the face value. And the discount is simply the difference between what? The face value and the issue price. So the discount D is computed as our face value minus the issue price. Okay, so you first need to understand how to calculate our discount. So we calculated the formula for our discount. Okay. So sometimes you may not be given the discount rate. You can also calculate the discount rate. So in those that are in the paid up group, I will make a compilation of all the formulas, but you need to understand the formula for the discount is simply the difference between the face value and the issue price. So FV minus P. And sometimes the discount rate, you need to calculate. The discount rate is simply given as a percentage of the cost of borrowing. So it is simply the discount over the face value times 360 or B here. Okay, but usually some books will use 365, but in this case it's 360 over time. And the effective yield, we sometimes call it the investor's return. It is used to test the yield based on the price paid. So the yield is given by D over P times 360 over time. All right, so we get back to our questions. So we've answered one question so far. The question to do with the commercial paper. So these questions have just been compiled from your textbook. So I'll also relate to the previous exam paper. Those that have other papers, please share with me the papers that you have so that we do as many exam papers as possible. So question one, anyone behind so far on the calculation of the issue price and the discount? So if you understood, can you remember what are we given in the question one? The 500,000 is what? Face value, FV. And the 5.2 is our what? Our R. The 90 days is our what? Our time. So let's calculate the discount and the issue price. Who remembers what's the formula for the discount? What's the formula for the discount? Is Kim here?
I
Vasti?
Uh-huh. Face value the discount rate, then times time over 365 days, I think.
360. Uh-huh.
Or 360.
So 500,000 times the discount rate of 5.2%. If you want, you can leave it in decimal. If you want, you can show it as a fraction like that. So the answer is still the same. Times what? 90 over 360. So what do we get? Is a discount value, not the discount rate. The discount rate has its own formula. Okay. So what did we get as our discount value? 6,500. Okay. Then how do we calculate the issue price? The issue price is hard. The difference between the face value minus the discount value. Okay. Sometimes you can even use DV. So 500,000 minus what? That's 6,500. You get your answer. All right, together. Anyone behind there?
Yes, Mr. Collins.
Uh-huh.
Can you repeat the second formula? The P is equal to FV. I think my line broke off a bit.
The issue price, like I explained, is when you're calculating the issue price, it's simply the difference between it's actually what the investor actually pays for the CP, which is usually at a discount less than the face value. Simply the difference between um, the face value and the issue price. That is the discount, sorry, is the difference between the face value minus the issue price. Okay? And also the issue price is simply the difference between the face value minus the discount. Okay? So you can make A the subject of formula. So issue price is simply face value minus discount value. When this one comes this side, if you want to calculate sometimes you can calculate the discount value. The discount value is simply what? The face value minus the issue price, depending on what you're being asked. So the issue price is usually less than the face value. So the face value is 500,000 minus the answer that we calculated here, the discount value. So 500,000 minus 6,500. So the answer that we're going to get is called our issue price. Is that clear?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Then question number 2, if the discount on a 250,000 commercial paper is 3,000 and it matures in 45 days, what is the annual discount rate? Okay. So I explained that sometimes you can be asked to calculate the annual discount rate. Who remembers the formula for the annual discount rate? Annual discount rate? Annual discount rate is given by what? And just from mentioning it, it's simply the discount value over face value times 360 over time. Okay? Discount value over face value times 360 over time. So our discount value in this case was how much? 6,500. And our face value was how much? 500,000. And our time has been given in this case as how many days? Okay, I'm using based on the initial question. Okay, if we're calculating the rate based on this initial question, sorry, 500,000 over 6,500 over 500,000 and 360 over the time, 90 days. This is if we're using part A to calculate the rate. So this would give you the 5.2%. Okay, if you're working in reverse. But in the second part here, we're told that if the discount is actually 250, the discount value, so you put 250. The discount is what? 3,000. It's saying 3,000. Okay? 3,000. Of a commercial paper whose face value is 250. 250. Okay, times 360 over the number of days. How many days to maturity do we have? 45 days. So when you calculate that, you're going to get your annual discount rate as 9.6%. So this is how we calculate the annual discount rate. Annual discount rate is given by the discount value over face value times 360 over time. Question number 3, a company issues a commercial paper. Now this commercial paper, it issues a commercial paper at 97,000, but the face value was 100,000 and has 120 days to maturity. What is the discount rate? Okay, so what is the discount rate? So discount rate is given by the same formula, D over face value times 360 over time. Except we have a problem here. We don't have the what? The discount value. So how do you find the discount value? Who remembers? How do you find the discount value? The discount value is simply the difference between the face value and the issue price. Have we been given an issue price here? Yes. So what is this? Our issue price. What is this? Our face value. And what is this? The time. So what are we being asked to calculate? The discount rate R. So these questions are it's all about the formulas. So the R is equal to what? DV, or they call it D in some books, but I like to call it DV so that you're able to know that it's not a rate, it's a value. Times 360 over what? Time. So in this case, we have not been given the discount value, but we've been given indirectly. The discount value is the difference between the face value and the issue price. So D is equal to what? Face value minus what? Issue price. So we have 100,000 minus 9,000 and 7,500. Okay, so what do we get when we get that difference? We get 2,500. So this 2,500 is what now we substitute in this formula here. So 2,500 divided by what? The face value of 500,000 times 360 over time. And our time in this case is how much? What is our time in this case? 120. Right? So we now get our
Is our face value not 100,000 instead of
it's
500,000?
100,000. Yes, thank you. I'm going back to it is 100,000. Yes. So our face value is 100,000. I hope I use 100,000 here. Yes, 100,000 here. The 2,500, you know where we're getting it from? It's the actual discount. Then time is the 120 days. So this now helps us calculate our interest rate, which is 7.5%. All right. Are we together? Are we together? Anyone behind so far before I go to the next question? Please feel free to ask because I need us
Mr.
to move
Collins,
together. Uh-huh.
please kindly run me through. I've just joined. Network was trouble.
Okay. On which question specifically?
I don't even know where you started from. I don't know, joiner.
Okay. For that one, I will send you the video. Unless those ones that started earlier and you're behind somewhere because I'll need to re-teach everything. I'll do a makeup of this class.
Okay,
Yeah.
all
Okay,
right.
so we now go to another segment, which is called the money market yield. Okay. Um, the money market yield. So the questions that we have in our textbook for the money market yield are as follows. So here it's totally new so that you don't miss me. I'll need to explain some concepts on the money market yield. So listen to me carefully. So what is a money market yield? And how is it used? Okay, so I've sent um the formulas on the group. So when you're talking about the money market yield in money market, we are looking at the annualized yield on the short-term money market instrument like the commercial paper or the treasury bill. Okay, it's actually what it reflects the actual return on the amount that the investor invested the price rather than on the face value. So the money market yield is expressed as on a 360-day basis. So when you're dealing with a money market yield, it's mainly applicable to short-term discount instruments that have no periodic interest, like the commercial paper. So the money market yield uses the purchase price as the base, unlike the discount rate, which uses the face value. So money market yield will help investors to compute the yield of different money market instruments. So it is usually annualized and allows you to compare across different maturities. So the formula for money market yield is given as follows. So money market yield has this following formula. Money market yield is given by the discount over the issue price times 360 over time. All right. That is a formula for a money market yield. That is the formula that we use for money market yield. Now, just to explain what the money market yield again is, those ones who missed it, money market yield is simply what? An annualized percentage, an annualized yield on short-term money markets. Okay? It is simply an annualized yield on short-term money market instrument. It includes instruments like the commercial paper and the treasury bills and other discounting securities. So the money market yield actually represents the investor's actual return on the price paid for the instrument rather than on the par value. We denote it by MMY. Sorry about that. The network was down. Okay, so we are looking at the money market yield. We simply say that the money market yield is simply what? An annualized yield on our short-term instruments like the commercial paper and the treasury bill. So the money market yield has this formula that we have just looked at. It is simply the discount amount over purchase price times 360 over the maturity days. That is the formula for the money market yield. So nothing much complicated. We're just going to make use of this formula. Then we go to example questions from the exam. So this is the formula for the money market yield. It is simply what? The yield that is annualized on the short-term money market instrument. It is expressed in 360-day basis as a standard. So it allows investors to compare the return on different short-term instruments like the treasury bills and also the commercial papers and other discount securities. The features of money market yield is that it's applicable only for short-term discount instruments. It's primarily used in the money market. Okay, so it can be used for treasury bills, commercial papers, and bankers' acceptances. So it uses the purchase price as the base, not the selling price, the purchasing or the purchase price. So unlike bank rates, they use the face value. The money market yield uses what? The purchase price. That's why that's the formula there. So now we will go to looking at questions to do with money market yield. Then we see how we're going to apply that formula on these securities. These three questions. So we have been given question number 1, an investor buys a commercial paper for 98,000 with a face value of 100,000 and 30 days to maturity. Calculate the money market yield. Okay, so question 4. Who remembers the formula for the money market yield? What did you say is the formula for the money market yield?
So it's a discount over P times 360 over T.
Okay. Did you get that? Money market yield is given by what? Discount over price times 360 over time, right? Discount over price times 360 over time. So what have we been given in here? What do we have?